Recording in progress.
Good morning, colleagues. I hope you can all hear me.
Loud and clear.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mafanya. How are you, sir?
I'm pretty good. How are you, sir?
Very well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Colleagues, this is a special meeting convened to receive the briefing to receive a briefing on the update of the pension rollout. You recall last time that it was on the 20th of September that there were 2 or 3 outstanding issues that had to be considered before the rollout start in earnest. The rollout means the actual payment to the military veterans. The matter has been in the making for a very long time. We started discussing this issue some time back, and we thought that this time around we must meet again, give the department the time that it required to attend to the 2 or 3 issues that were standing in the way of the actual rollout. I'm not going to say what those issues are because they are known and they are in the report that is to be presented this morning. We've also asked that GPAA be present as well, so that they also respond to the presentation of the department, giving us the latest on their side. The latest means the update, the information that the updated information from the last time we had the meeting with them. Without much ado, I will thank that you are all present. But just before I call on the DM to give us his opening remarks, I'm not too sure if the minister is in the meeting, but let me just deal with the formalities first. And Brian, do you have the quorum?
That is correct, Chair, we do.
We do have the quorum. Thank you very much. And are there any apologies?
That's correct, Chair. We have one apology, which is from the minister. She is currently in cabinet. Thank you, Chair.
Is currently in cabinet. Thank you very much. All right. Colleagues, are there any other apologies that you may be aware of? None. I think then that takes us to...
We have a hand, Chair, from Kabelo and Mongezi from GPAA.
All right. Mongezi, Kabelo from GPAA.
Let me give Mongezi, Chair. Let me give Mongezi. I'll withdraw.
Okay, Mongezi. Mongezi, please introduce yourself properly. Mongezi Mqebisa, just tell us who You are. And
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, members. My name is Mongezi Mngqabisa. I'm the Chief Director for Operations and Finance for the administration of the National Treasury Program 7 funds. I'm also the project sponsor for the DMV pensions administration issues in terms of my position within GPAA. The apology I'm giving is for the CEO of the GPAA, who couldn't make it this morning. She's currently traveling to Cape Town. And that's the apology, Chair.
thank you very much. Would you then continue to introduce the other members who are here to support you?
Chair, in the meeting...
Yes, you may continue.
Chair, in the meeting, we have Khaile Molibati. He is the acting chief financial officer of the GPAA. And then, of course, we've got Kabelo Jonathan, who attended the meeting of the 20th of September and is the director for operations and the project manager for the DMV pensions. Thank you, Chair.
And Kabelo reports to you.
That's right, Chair.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. You are all welcome, and we accept the apology from the CEO. And then, Honorable Lekwase.
Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, I want to submit an apology for me to leave the meeting around 12 o'clock, as I will be leaving for Gaborone in Botswana. But that will be if the meeting is not yet out by 12 o'clock.
Thank you very much. And I think we'll be done by that time, Honorable Lekwase, but your apology is noted. Thank you. All right. All right. Now, having dealt with the apologies and welcomed all of you in the meeting, may I then request the Minister just to open, to give us his opening remarks. Honorable Deputy Minister.
Honorable Chair and honorable members, good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to provide an update on the rollout of the military veterans pension as agreed at the meeting of the oversight of the 20th of September. Chair, I have familiarized myself with the record of that meeting. As shared by the staff of the Portfolio Committee. The Minister, as reported, is not available for this meeting, as she would have loved to be here herself to give that update. But the department is here, Chair, and I'm going to ask the acting DG of the department to take over the presentation. And after the presentation, Chair and committee members, I will come in if it is necessary on the information shared to augment it. But I hope, because the information to be shared was strictly what the department had undertaken to do, it should suffice. Chair, that is my advice, and I step down.
Thank you very much, DM. Let me now ask the acting HOD as directed by the Deputy Minister.
Good morning, Chairperson. Good morning, DM, and all members present in this meeting. Chairperson, from my side, yes, as per the instruction of the Portfolio Committee last time when we met, that we must finalize the issue of the paying out the pension. The meeting between the two ministers set on the 29th of September. The Minister of Defense and Military Veterans and the Minister of Finance, Deputy Minister of Military Veterans, and the members of DMV, DOD, and Treasury, they met. So I will request CFO to take us through the presentation. Chairperson, we've got only 3 slides. Thanks.
Thank you.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, members. Good morning, DM. I'm not too sure, Chair, whether the presentation was shared on your side. But maybe if it was not shared, I will talk to it, then we can then share at a later stage. Oh, no, thank you, Chair. I see that it's being flighted. If then I may have it in the presentation mode. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Basically, this is just an update in terms of the progress made to date, in terms of the rollout of the military veterans pension benefit. Thank you. Next slide. That's the purpose. You may then skip to the main slide. Thank you. So, Chair and members and DM, from the meeting, the PCD meeting of the 20th of September, there was an undertaking from Minister and DM in terms of the 3 points. It was undertaken that the issue of the effective payment date would be addressed. There was an undertaking to say there will be progress made in terms of the verification process, so that then there are no hindrances going forward. Then the issue of the means test was confirmed that the means test will be applied. And then there was a further undertaking from Ministry of Defense to then interact with the Minister of Finance to confirm few things. Amongst others was the issue of the payment date, which is then which influences the retrospective payment. There was also an outstanding matter, which was an administrative fee. If we move to the next slide then. A meeting was held between the Minister of Defense and Military Veterans, Minister of Finance, and the Deputy Minister of Defense and Military Veterans on the 29th of September, Chair. In presence was the acting DG of DMV, the CFO of DMV, and then there was the support staff from the public finance supporting the minister. Also present in the meeting was the DOD CFO, the acting DG, to address other matters. But in terms of the discussions, I will then just stick to the resolutions, and then acting DG and the DM may augment if there are points that were not properly captured in this presentation, Chair. There was an agreement that DMV must immediately publish what was approved as if as at the 31st of July 2023, which were regulations that were still indicating that there would be no retrospective payment. Then the second point is it was agreed that the regulations then must be published with immediate effect, which we then immediately contact the government printing works to reactivate what was already sent to them to publish the currently approved regulations. It was also directed because Minister of Defense and Military Veterans insisted that DMV must sign legal documents that are inclusive or indicative of an administrative fee. Then GPAA was then directed through the Minister of Finance and his staff to then write to GPAA to also inform that they must ensure that the legal documents are indicative of an administrative fee. And then Treasury, based on the request from the Minister and the DM in terms of retrospective payment share, they understood where the department, the Minister and the DM were coming from in terms of finding a way where we can then probably pay accrued benefit to military veterans based on an agreed effective date check. And then the minister indicated that then they will deliberate on the matter. They will then put it in writing, informing the minister of the outcome of their discussion. So that's communication chair as of today is not yet noted from the Office of the Minister of Finance, but based on the call made yesterday, Chair, to that Public Finance Office, they said there is a letter being prepared. Then we will then be informed what's the next step. So there may be a need then to also amend the current regulation, Chair, but that will be informed by the formalized feedback from the Office of the Minister of Finance, Chair. Probably that will be the end of our update from our side, Chair. I'm not too sure if the DG would like to just add something, Chair, before we hand over to you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Two questions arising from myself before I ask the GPAA to respond. One, the undertaking, very firm undertaking was made that the regulation will be published by the 29th of September.
Yes, correct.
Yes, so we don't get now. I think they were supposed to be first a comment on that, why it's not the 29th, but is the 6th of October. That's one. Two, we asked that the regulations be shared with the committee, and that has not happened. And I'm sure you do have them, and you are in the position to present them to us today. Because if we ask you to share, to email them to us, you don't. And so I'm not going to ask you to email them to us today, but we'll ask you to share them in this meeting. Just give us highlight the essential points of the regulations so that we leave this meeting knowing exactly what is in the regulations and therefore what is to expect going forward. And then thirdly is the issue of the admin fee. I think the team in the GPAA would speak to that maybe I'll ask them to speak to it and just to check if there has been any, has that issue been settled? And if it has not been settled, can it still be regarded as an hindrance to delivering the benefit? All right. Maybe let me just check with you before I ask the team GPAA to come back. What has happened to the 29th versus the 6th of October? Acting HOD.
Thanks, Chairperson. Chairperson, as we indicated in the previous meeting that the regulations will be published on the 29th of September. Yes, I received a letter from CEO GPAA indicating that the Minister of Finance has given a go-ahead that they must pay, but retrospectively. Then I asked the CEO if the same letter was forwarded to the Minister of Defense. She said yes. But then when I met with the minister, by then it was Tuesday, asking her if she received the letter from her counterpart, she said no. Then I indicated that to the minister, I've received this letter from CEO, and this is what they are saying, that the go-ahead for payment was given, but not retrospectively. And then the minister said, no, then you will have to wait until I give you go-ahead or I meet with the Minister of Finance, because that you must pay, that instruction must come from the Minister of Finance, from our minister. So that's, we had this meeting on Friday, where minister even made it clear in that meeting to say she will want to know as to how much the administrative fee is. And she would not give me a go-ahead if she doesn't know what administrative fee is. So thus the meeting then was left between our minister and Minister of Finance, who said they will write a letter to the minister and after our meeting, after the meeting on Friday. So that's what transpired, Chairperson.
And then what is the status of the regulations in view of the two issues that were said to be outstanding? One, the effective date that that needed to be factored into the regulations. And I don't understand why the fee payment, the administration fee, should also be an issue in relation to the publication of the regulations. Can you just comment on those two?
It was a problem, Chairperson, because the regulations that are handed to the government printing works, they don't indicate that payment must be done retrospective. Thus, we're saying if the instruction is given, for us to do payment retrospectively, we will have to effect that in the regulations. But if the issue of retrospective is being cancelled, then we go ahead. Like now, as we are saying, because the two ministers took a decision that the regulations can be published now without retrospective. If ever retrospective had to be included, then it will be, the regulations will be updated. That is the instruction we got from the ministers.
Okay. No,
Yes.
it's clear now. All right, let me hear what GPAA has to say. After that, I will then open it up for for members to raise questions and discuss the question. Thank you very much. GPAA?
Chair, the issue of the administration fee will be addressed by Mr. Khaile Molibatsi, our acting finance manager.
Thank you very much. Mr. Molibatsi?
Good morning, Chair, and thank you very much for the opportunity. Chair, as a way of background, there was a discussion that we have had with the DMV discussing the issue relating to the costing and the fee that will be levied for administration of the pension. So the exchange has happened over a number of months. So the last one that we had was yesterday, where myself and the team, we met with the CFO of DMV and his team. I think, Chair, at this point, the two departments have a good understanding. In a nutshell, Chair, what was the issue that was perhaps where we're not finding each other is that the understanding of how GPAA levies costs for or the fee for administration is that our basis for administering, because in the GPAA we administer more than, about 4 different funds, and how we levy fees is based on the sizes of each of those funds. For instance, you would expect that a fund that has more than 1 million members obviously will attract higher charges and cost, as opposed to a fund that has maybe 100 people in it, because the demand on the resources and so on are different. They depend on the size of the fund. So therefore, Chair, what we had explained there is that the challenge is that right now, for us to indicate what the actual fee will be, it's difficult in that we need a membership number. We need to say how big is the fund that we're going to administer, because what we then do is we look at the total administration cost that we have, and based on that, when it comes to the shared costs that actually are incurred for the benefit of all funds, then we will take those costs and apportion them according to the sizes of those respective funds. So the challenge now is for DMV, the question is, what figure do we use at this point? Because we have the total number of applications, which is not necessarily the actual members, because some applications will be approved, some will not. I think at this point, we had about 600 potentially qualifying members out of the 15,000 applications that we have received. And within that 600, there may be some who don't qualify for one reason or another. So this is what we were discussing yesterday to make our counterparts understand from DMV. So we then said, Chair, the best basis and what is reasonable in this instance is that we be given from DMV, GPAA must be given a reasonable number or estimate of membership that we can use as a basis for cost allocation. And from there, we are able to advise what we estimate the cost will be, and we can share that for and that figure. It will also come with a rider that states that the actual costs will may be higher or lower depending on what the actual membership number will be ultimately. So, so yesterday, the with an estimate of, I think it's 4,000 members. So we are advised to work with do our calculations and cost estimate based on an assumed membership roll of 4,000. And based on that, we will provide, we can provide that probably by close of business tomorrow, that what we estimate the costing will be for the administration for month to month and for the year. So Chair, that's where we are. What I've addressed so far, it talks to common costs. When we talk common costs, Chair, maybe just as by way of an example, we're talking, for instance, the ICT expenditure that we have, because for the ICT, all the funds will be on the same platform that we use. It's one platform, it's an ICT pension administration platform. And therefore, the costs that are associated with managing that will be allocated based on the size of each fund. So smaller funds will therefore be apportioned a smaller amount, which we think will be the case with the DMV. And then the bigger funds, which is the BGPF that we administer, will obviously pick up the biggest cost. And then we have treasury funds and the APF and TPF. So that's that's how we deal with shared costs. I must just indicate that there can be as well direct cost, and the direct cost that will not be shared with other funds. It will be instances where the DMV decides that for their members, they want GPAA to do and action certain activities that will be exclusive to the DMV only on its own and for the benefit of its members. So such costs will not be shared with the other funds. They will be built against DMV in totality. In terms of the how our cost model, that's how it operates. Each fund, whatever specific decision that they make that has cost implications that are unique and only confined to that membership, will then be recoverable from that fund on its own, and that's how it operates. So what it means then that the cost structure for each fund differs because it will be the shared cost as well as any specific cost or decisions that have been made by the relevant authorities in the administration of that pension and so on. So yes, I think, Chair, I will maybe pause there, and if there's any questions, we'll attend to those. Thank you.
Tell me, what is the agreement in principle, the principal agreement? I want to know what is it that you are agreeing upon between the two departments, so that we don't leave that gray, because if it is gray, it will remain gray until we meet again. Okay.
In terms of the agreement, Chair, from our latest engagement yesterday, and this agreement is in line with how we currently operate with all other funds. The fee is based on a cost recovery model. What that means is that as the GPAA, we are not profit driven. We do not make a markup on any cost. So what it means is any cost that we incur in the administration of the DMV, we will recover that cost as is. Meaning, if we go and buy files for members of the DMV and the files cost us 100 Rand, we will then submit a claim to the DMV for that 100 providing evidence and supporting documentation of what has been incurred. So that's the agreement, Chair. And that agreement is I believe the current agreement that has been signed, it also outlines the cost recovery model, because that's how GPAA operates for all our clients and funds that we administer. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. And I'm going back to Mr. Mdebisa. Anything to add before I open it up?
No, Chair. I think Khaile has explained the rationale of the model, and also I'm aware that our CEO did sign an addendum, addendum 1, which basically explains the detail that Khaile has now explained to the committee as an addendum to the administration agreement. And that addendum was also sent through to the acting DG of the Department of Military Veterans.
Okay.
So the instrument is there.
You may continue. I'm sorry.
I'm saying, Chair, that addendum is with the acting DG of the Department of Military Veterans for his signature.
Acting DG, can you give us an update on that aspect?
Thanks, Chairperson. As I've indicated, that the minister made it clear that the administration fee must be indicated in those documents. And that addendum doesn't show the administrative fee still. And maybe again, Chairperson, I'm just informed by my director in acting DG's office that the regulation.
But what do you want, Admiral? I mean, they've actually explained the formula, you know, and the method that they will use when it comes to recovering the cost. In other words, the fee becomes determinable at the end, but they will justify why they are charging the amount. In other words, we bought so many stationery, we bought this, we use that platform and so forth, and this is the amount. And then there will be debate between the two of you. Why is it difficult now? What is it that we are looking for?
Chairperson, is not me. I'm saying the minister made it clear to me that as long as administrative fee is not indicated, she is not going to give me any go-ahead signing that document. If this is the minister's instruction, it's not my instruction.
DM?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Yes, please. Can you assist us here?
Okay.
It looks as though the guys have explained how the whole thing of cost recovery process will work out. And I don't see, I think in my view, I find it reasonable, but it looks as though it doesn't find acceptance on the part of the ministry.
No, through you, your observation is indeed a legitimate concern, because as you have just indicated, GPAA has provided information on how and what formula they are going to be using in billing DMV for the service that they are going to be providing. And that gives us a sense of what eventually is going to be the financial burden for the Department of Military Veterans as far as the rollout of this pension is concerned. And as the official from GPAA has indicated, the model that they employ, it's a cost recovery model. They bill their customers, meaning the original owners of the 4 pensions that they are paying. They make them to pay what if those pensions were paid out by themselves, they would have incurred as departments. So what it means is that if the DMV, as it originally planned, was going to pay out this pension itself, this is the budget that the DMV would have had to set aside because there is a whole organization, but there are a whole of logistics issues that the department would have had to put in place. So that money now must be moved over to GPAA. So that is the first point. The cost recovery model, for me, from where I sit, it's a straightforward matter, the way the official explained it. But the other point, of course, is that if the Department of Military Veterans says it will not sign the service level agreement until there is a figure there, they are then themselves creating a deadlock as far as the rollout of the pension is concerned. Because GPAA is clear that from where we are now, it is not visible what eventually would be the population that they are going to have to be dealing with in this particular pension. That's why there's talk about an estimate of 4,000. Even as I know, Chair, that when the regulations, the policy around the regulations was discussed and finalized in the ministry, the projection that the department had made on the population we were anticipating was that there'll be about 9,000 military veterans who are going to be entitled to this pension. That figure is there. And I'm surprised that DMV has not presented that figure in their engagement with GPAA. However, it was made very clear in our meeting with the CEO of GPAA that this fee is not an urgent matter for the reasons that they have indicated, and that it is possible that they will be able to generate a bill to the Department of Military Veterans 6 months down the line, meaning by early next year sometime. So this was not meant to be a showstopper. The Department of Military Veterans position that they will not sign the service level agreement if there is no figure in it. As if the figure, let's just, for argument's sake, Chair, honorable members, through you, Chair, if the figure was high in their view and they were not willing to pay that fee, what are the implications? The implications is that they will have now to pay that fund administratively themselves, DMV. But this decision to go to GPAA was because they said we do not have the capacity to pay it. So it's not like there are options for the DMV not to utilize GPAA. Even in a situation where the department's view was that the cost of the service GPAA is providing are too high, they have no option because they have failed to put in place a capacity within the department to pay the pension themselves. So it's a good discussion, but it's neither here nor there. GPAA must assist DMV to pay out this pension. That is what, Chair, for me, is important to underline. The second point which I also wanted to deal with, Chair, is with respect to the publishing of the regulations. I understand, according to the record of the meeting of the 20th that there was a view that the regulations that were the draft that was ready to be gazetted did not have an indication of when the rollout will be commenced with, or when will the pension be paid out. And in the discussion, the minister was of the view that we should not publish the regulations without indicating that the commencement of the pension, the date will be from the beginning of this financial, meaning the 1st of April, which was in date, the ideal situation. But as we speak, the regulations have not been amended to include the commencement date.
DM, let's not go that far. Let's leave the regulations for now, because the resolution of the meeting that they put two ministers and yourself and the officials from the two departments attended resolved that the regulations that must be published, that the regulations that must be published must be those dated the 31st of July. And if there has to be a change, that change will be after both ministers have agreed, the regulations will then be updated accordingly. I think that's a resolution of the meeting. So what we expect to be out for the public are the regulations of the 31st of July, as per the thing. That they are not amended to include the effective date and so on and so forth is a matter that is still subject to further clarification between the two ministers. It should not hold back the rollout. I do agree on that.
Exactly what I wanted to highlight is the point that you are making. Because the regulations that you are referring to, Chair, correctly so, were signed off by the minister on the 31st of July. Signed off on the 31st of July, one would have expected that 2 months later, those regulations would have been long gazetted. But that is not the case. And the department must explain why, after the minister signed off those regulations on the 31st of July, they did not proceed to have them gazetted. Because the 31st of July means that the whole of August, and we are now at the end of September, those regulations have not been gazetted. Where were they sitting? Because this issue about including the rollout date in the regulations had not yet been raised. And okay, as we are discussing the matter now, you are aware, Chair, that the date of the 6th of October is mentioned. Is it mentioned because the regulations of the 31st of September were sitting and awaiting to be further reworked, such that only now are we commencing with their gazetting. And it is the reason why the date of the 6th of October is being mentioned. Because why I'm raising this, Chair, is the point is that regulations, it is convention that they can be revised on an ongoing basis. They are an administrative enabler.
DM, I don't want us to go down that road again. Please, you were not in the meeting. The last meeting was that the regulations, the minister was in the meeting, will be published by the 29th. We do not ask why they're published 2 months later, you know, and we left it to the minister to sort that out. Now, today we're being told that it's no longer the 29th of September, it's the 6th of October. I asked why there's been a shift. They explained why there's been a shift from the 29th of September to the 6th of October. Let's accept that the new date now is the 6th of October. And then why they did not do it between the 31st of July and the 29th of September and the 6th of October is now a matter. It's a valid point, but it's a matter for the supervisors, the minister and yourself and the staff to deal with. Us is to register progress in this meeting. And maybe let's park the issue now, why it did not happen between that time. Let's say they'll be published on the 6th of October, and we've been clarified that the regulations that will be published are those as signed off on the 31st of July, and that do not provide for a retrospective date. But the issue that has been registered as a snag now was the issue that you've correctly pointed it out, and that the acting Director General is creating an unnecessary stumbling block. He says when the formula has been explained to him, it was explained in this meeting, how the recovery, the cost recovery process will happen. They've explained the model, it's very clear. And in actual fact, because they're using an existing infrastructure, it works out cheaper to deliver the benefits than when they were going to do it themselves. It's going to work out much cheaper because they will not have to carry the cost of creating the infrastructure, the IT network, the staff that will be in office, and all other things that are necessary to provide the benefit. They are actually piggybacking on all they are expected to do is to compensate the GPAA for the money they spent on providing the service. That's all what is being discussed here. Now, if the acting HOD wants the figure to be determined upfront, I don't understand what it means. Acting HOD. Acting HOD.
So, Chairperson, thank you. Chairperson, I think what I said here is that the minister indicated that what must happen, and the resolution of that meeting was that.
But this is an operational issue, acting HOD.
Yes, I know it's operational issue. I'm answering what I'm being asked here. The Minister of Finance and Minister of Defense, in that meeting, they said GPAA must indicate the percentage that DMV must pay. And that was the resolution that was taken by the two ministers. It was not taken by me.
Okay, colleagues, the matter is on the floor. I start with you, Mare. I saw Shelembe and then Thabo Motle. In that order, please.
Thank you, Chair. A very, very disappointing meeting again. I recall the minister herself at many times said that this is a dysfunctional department, and it seems like there's no improvement yet. The military veterans pension was probably the most important matter for this year, this financial year. It was already promised last financial year, and then it said it will definitely be paid out this financial year. And now to find us in a situation, us as members of parliament, I think military veterans look at us and say, I mean, you are just as in a big shambles as the department. Because remember, we were told on the 20th that for sure by the 29th, the first pensions will be paid out and the regulations will be published. In fact, if I can recall, they said at that stage, it can be done like the next day, even if everything is agreed upon. I also recall that the minister has said, non-negotiable, backdated to the 1st of April. Now, I agree with you, if that is not possible, then obviously at least start with the regulations that was at that stage apparently been signed, that we have requested a copy and that we have not received up to date. It is unacceptable that we as members of parliament are being kept in the dark, both in terms of implementation, stumbling blocks, and then commitments being given. What I do not understand, Chair, we have got a budget for this year. If I can recall correctly, even GPAA has said that it is 330 million rand. We know that the pensions is just over twice that of the SASSA grant. So in other words, it's roughly 5,100 rand per month. Now, obviously, we do not ask more money from the National Treasury. We only operate within our budget. Now, why the two departments, they are fighting with each other, seems like it, and there's a struggle going on, and we do not get to the point that we are paying out. So my question is, and I'm not going to repeat what you have said already, but my question is that why were we not informed timeously that they will not be able to do that on the 29th? We only find out today, and they could have informed us. That is my first one. Then second one is around the budget, whether that is a problem and whether the HOD, the acting HOD, has been informed that maybe they're going to cut our budget in the medium term.
But Mr. Murray, why are you going down that line? Let's focus on the issue at hand. I
want to determine whether there are valid reasons that has been indicated that is possibly impacting on the fact that the Minister of Finance has said that it cannot be backdated. So in other words, are they going to take money away? Because I cannot understand, we've got an approved budget. And we know what the amount is per person being paid out. And all that we want is that being paid out. So obviously we need to know why these things are not happening. And if they are taking away money, then that is probably a reason why they might be acting that, judging that there's not going to be enough money for what they want to do. Because the current budget provides for about 5,000 members. And even in determining GPAA, in determining the administrative fee, it cannot be that difficult if you have got an approved budget. And you know what it will be per person. So I just want to know why these things could not have been resolved. And if the Gazette is going to be published on the 6th, when will they then be paying out that money to the military veterans? That's the bottom line. Thank you.
Thank you. And Monagalisi, is there a cabinet meeting today? Sorry, Monagale, is there a cabinet meeting today?
Chairperson, yes, that was what I was informed by the Minister's PA.
That there's a cabinet meeting, not a cabinet cluster.
I think it's a cabinet cluster.
Please, can you verify what cluster is meeting today whilst I take Shelembe? Please, I'll come back to you after Shelembe. Just to confirm what cabinet committee is meeting today, Mr. Shelembe.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Yeah, one, is worried that, Chair, we are right, like now, cycling around, not getting the solution. And Chairperson, I think the questions that have been raised, maybe mine may, also, be one of those. Chair, I'm just checking now the issue of the amendment to the regulations. Can we get the clarity that if, say, these new regulations are gazetted, say, on the 6th, and then on the 7th, and then we get, a confirmation that we can pay back is there anything that can stop us if, the regulation has been gazetted? If there's nothing, I'm happy that, Chair, the gazettes, are published as proposed. But my concern is that should it happen that if these amendments will not be considered after the publishing of the Gazette, I will have a concern. Maybe the problem, Chair, is the problem that we have. We do not know now who's got the final say when it comes to these things. We are cycling around. Maybe on the 6th, as is being suggested, anything may happen that these regulations are not published. Maybe, Chair, if I can get the clarity, what's going to happen with the amendments if the Gazette has been published. The second one, Chair, I'm still wondering that we used to have, the intervention of the presidential task team, but we are, still struggling, but I don't see where are they as we are experiencing these challenges. Maybe, Chair, if I can get the clarity whether they are still, part of us. We can't afford, Chair, to keep waiting like now, cycling around. And I can say you, Chair, as well, we are getting worried now because you are chairing the meeting, decisions are taken and are not implemented. At the same time, you are responsible to account as the chairperson of this committee. We need a solution, Chairperson. And I don't know, Chair, maybe I'll get the clarity on the issue of the amendment. What effects it will have if the Gazette is published, on the 6th. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Honorable Thabo Muntle.
All right. Thank you very much, Chair, and good morning to members. Chair, maybe let me start by clarifying one thing. It's not your responsibility as a chair, it's a responsibility of the committee to ensure that the department accounts on resources that we pass for them to ensure that they deliver those services to military veterans. But my question or my worry is it's one, Chair. You see, I have a feeling that there's a disjuncture between GPAA, DMV versus the instruction given by Minister in this case. Having listened to what the DM has said, insofar as this matter is concerned, I picked up that it can be clarified that there's a disjuncture, that the Deputy Minister's view is that things should then proceed. But what worries me more is the fact that the model that is being applied by GPAA makes it difficult for us seated here, even for the department, to be able to say the administration fee will be so much. And I think that is the concern of the minister. I don't understand why their models seem to be more costly if you've got more members and less costly with more members to administer in terms of personnel to be administered or people to be paid in that regard. It was going to be easier if they were working with a certain percentage, because it was going to be, we'll have an idea that out of the total amount available to pay out to military veteran, a certain percentage will go to GPAA as an administration fee. But in this case, they are applying a model which even themselves cannot clearly explain or take us into confidence what will be the range in terms of the administration fee insofar as this matter is concerned. And now the instruction by the minister also makes things difficult for the department to move, because now they must await for those calculations, and I'm not sure whether they will be able to do it and be able to tell us what is the exact figures, depending on what they have captured as application so far. Or they will work with a certain number, or application will still continue to come through. I'm not sure. Maybe they can clarify that if they have captured all the applications and what is the number, and that is the number that they are going to work with, or there are still application coming through, or they'll open up another window for application and then make a determination with those numbers and take a decision from there. But it just makes life difficult for all of us, Chair, to know which direction are we going, because at this point, if the minister has instructed the acting DG that you don't proceed without us knowing the exact figure insofar as the administration fee is concerned, it's very problematic. And the DM on the other side, on the other hand, is correct to say, if we don't have any other options, why are we delaying? Because whether GPAA is going to say we're going to take 50%, it's not like we're comparing those figures to any other service provider who will render this service on behalf of the military veterans. But those costs must be fair. The cost must not be more than what is supposed to be due to military veterans. If that clarity can be provided, Chair, I'm a bit worried around that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Bond and Honorable Mafanya.
Thank you, Chair. I'm sorry I've been covered, but I just want to apologize for coming in and out. I now have a secure connection, the load shedding here in Vryheid in my constituency. So I'm just going to apologize for that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. Mafanya here. I think this meeting was called prematurely, where all parties do not see things the same way. And we have just acknowledged that the department itself, administratively, is quite dysfunctional. Hence, we had to call GPAA. And also GPAA is presented with problems, including both the minister and the deputy minister having concluded in some of the deliberations that we are confronted with. So we will forever move in cycles, though we actually gave this issue should have been settled. For one, I still feel the ministers, both the minister and the deputy minister, has got to go back on the issues, engage GPAA, because the reality is that we will also come with lots of questions, and then from what we see is that there are too many uncertainties from all entities, administratively as well as both the minister and the deputy minister. So the reality of the matter is that it is putting the committee in this position where we cannot make head from tail. So the incompetence level also comes into place. So, Chair, through you, I think we have to consider that all these parties have got to go back to their drawing boards, because there's nothing that we are getting from all these things. Instead, we are getting all the dirty linen that is displayed of the department in front of all of us. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Bond. Thanks, Mr. Mafanya. All right, Honorable Lekwase.
Thank you very much, Chair, and thank you to all the colleagues on the platform. Chair, having listened to Honorable Mutle, one becomes a bit confused. In as much as the DM is saying that it does not matter whether the price is high or whether the price is low, at the end of the day, GPAA will have to administer on behalf of the department. So my question to the acting HOD would be that, are you saying everything at this point is dependent on the minister? Because Chair, in the presentation, I heard that the department has agreed to the formula that the GPAA is using. So, and the formula is strictly saying, in a lack of a better word, they are carrying their admission fee on a pay-as-you-go. Immediately when the work starts to happen, it will be then that they'll be able to incur the cost. At this point in time, they will not be able to give us a figure of their administration fee. And the formula has been agreed to. So sitting where I'm sitting, Chair, my view and my observation is that the go-ahead will only be given by the minister. Mr. Mafanya is now saying they must all go back to the drawing board. In my view, everything is set and everything have been agreed upon. The only go-ahead they are waiting for is that of the minister. So, Chair, where I'm sitting, even the DM is explaining everything correctly. But honestly, from where I'm sitting, the DM is just in a corner. He can say whatever that he wants to say here, but the last word lies in the office of the minister or with the minister. So, Chair, where I'm sitting, we are going to continue with this meeting. We are going to come up with ways of asking questions and seeking for answers from both the department and the GPAA, and we are not going to get the satisfactory of what we want to hear from both parties. So, Chair, now I'm saying it's okay, like Mr. Mafanya is saying, the meeting was called prematurely. As long as the minister is not in the meeting, we are not going to get a way forward on what we want to hear from both the department and the GPAA. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you. Colleagues, I think the last two speakers are hitting the nail on the head. At the last meeting, we agreed that we'll meet today, the 4th, and the minister was present in the meeting. Nobody, the minister, never said that she will not be available today. We learn about her unavailability at the meeting today. And if they had advised us on time, this was a special meeting to receive an update from her and GPAA. We could have shifted the date of the meeting to another day. This is not a regular meeting. It was agreed in a meeting where we're all present that we'll meet like this. The minister never raised an objection that the date was not suitable for her. Because if she had done so, we could have put the meeting on Tuesday, Thursday, or any other day that was going to be convenient to the minister. And now we're meeting today and we can't move forward because the minister is not present. That's our concern. We can't register progress simply because the minister is not in the meeting. and the DM cannot assist us because the acting HOD is telling us that it's not the DM, it's the minister who issued out the instruction that they must not go ahead. And we don't get the reason why they must not go ahead. Because the matters have been clarified. That's what the issue is. My feeling, colleagues, is that it's true the last two colleagues are saying will not register any progress unless the minister was in the meeting. Is there an agreement to that?
Chair, we agree, Chair, because whatever we say, it depends on the final words from the minister. So she was supposed to be here to take us into confidence.
Yes. And can we move this meeting to later this evening? Now I don't know when the minister would be available. Are the people in her office, can the people in her office assist us? When will the minister be available? Monagal, can you assist us?
Person, I'll revert back to you. I'm trying to get a hold of the PA.
Thank you very much. Please do that. And DM, you understand our predicament now. Is that the whole process stands or fall on that minister's word, and the minister is not here to clarify it. And we can't move forward. We can't register progress. Yes, dear.
The view of the committee, I think it's reasonable to say we can register progress with the involvement of the minister in the discussion. We'll be able to close the loop if the minister is allowed to be part of the discussion, because indeed the stance of the acting DG to say the minister was emphatic that they should not move, and therefore from their side any administrative view or administratively informed position on the matter counts for nothing. Puts the discussion in a very difficult position that no further progress can be made on the matter. And I fully agree that we should reconcile our scheduling with that of the minister so that she can share her own take on the issues that we have discussed. The issue about the, and that's with respect to the service level agreement. The point about the regulations, I still felt that it is a detail that the oversight should have taken note of, which is that the minister correctly so was of the view that the regulations that we are proceeding to publish should include the commencement date of the pension. She was correct, and it was the right thing to do, that the minister should express that strong view. because the minister is sitting with a budget that we should have started spending in April.
DM, please don't go that road. Don't go the regulations will be updated, and you'll be advised when that has happened. At the moment, we are still sitting with the regulations of the 31st of July. Do we agree on that?
Yes, we agree.
Yes.
No, yes, we agree, Chair. Let me not pursue that point because we are dealing with a process matter here.
Indeed, DM.
And I think on the process we are agreed.
Okay. No, thank you very much. As to other issues, you'll deal with them in your office. What we have been told is that the regulations are with the printers. Let me check with the acting HOD how the process works. And I know from the last time I knew was that if you want your thing to be published next week in the Gazette of Thursday or Friday next week, you must submit it on Tuesday the previous week. Is that correct, acting HOD?
Yes, Chairperson, is correct, because after the meeting also with the ministers on Friday, we activated them that they must be published on the 6th of October.
No. Let's look at the process so that we're on the same page. What is the date of submitting anything for gazetting the following week?
I request the CFO to answer that one.
The CFO?
Good afternoon again, Chair. The process that was explained to us by GPAA, because we inquired about that, Chair. They indicated to us that if you want...
because GPAA is in the meeting, GPAA, can you assist? How does the process work? If you want your thing to appear in the next Gazette, when must you submit it? Mkrebisa?
Chair, I don't have the detail, Chair, on publication of regulations, but maybe Kabelo might be able to share that with the committee.
Kabelo?
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, honorable members. Chair, from our side, when we dealt with the government printing, it doesn't really take long. I'm sure DMV is aware because they did the Gazette that was published on the 25th of April. It was sent in, I think, 2 days before, and then it was publicized quickly. The process doesn't take long, Chair, as far as I know.
And but acting HOD, but this information should be in your fingertips as an acting HOD.
Chairperson, we're trying to explain that.
Chair, if I may attempt again, Chair.
All right.
We did inquire, Chair, and we were informed that you have to submit by Friday for the next week, Chair, for them then to be able to react. And hence, we reacted, as I indicated earlier, Chair, we did resend immediately after the meeting of the ministers last Friday, Chair. And as of this morning, Chair, we did follow up with the government printing works of whether then they will be able to meet our request. We are awaiting for that feedback, but we will follow up today, Chair, and then report back if there is any intervention required. But I'm sure the accounting officer will intervene where required. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. No, thank you. It's just that there's a laid down policy that governs the publication process. If you could familiarize yourself with that so that you know when to intervene, should you think there's a bit of a delay. So do we have the regulations that we have asked for?
Yes, Chairperson, I'm informed by my director in the office that the same day she forwarded the regulations to Sanele, both Sanele and Brian.
Sanele, do you have the Brian? Did you receive the regulations?
We received the regulation during the course of the meeting.
This morning?
That is correct, Chair, as the meeting was progressing.
Sanele, what had actually happened? Because the acting HOD sent, this was sent to you.
Chairperson, the first regulations that they had sent on the day of the 20th were the ones that were dated 21st of April, if Brian also remembers. Then we went back to them to inquire that these are not the regulations that they had spoken about in the meeting. We need the regulations dated the 31st of July. So they had sent it again this morning. Then I forwarded again to Brian.
Only
the ones dated 31st of July, yes. Because the ones that they sent on the 20th were dated the 27th or the 24th of April, which were the ones that were published in April.
All right. Only this morning we received them.
Yes, during the course of the meeting, I forwarded to Brian and I forwarded to Dr. Verhelm.
So it means that the acting HOD was misleading the committee.
Chairperson, I will never do that. I called my DG, my director, and she said she forwarded the regulations. But Sanele is saying those regulations were the 27th. The 31st, I can see them now here. They were forwarded to your office, the 31st of July, the ones of 31st of July.
Okay, so, all right. We can't take it any further than this.
So they were forwarded, sir, on the 20th, as you requested, as per your instruction.
No, he says the regulations they received on the immediately after our meeting were dated April.
No,
and
it's
then
incorrect, sir.
Come again?
It's incorrect.
Oh, it's incorrect. Okay.
Yes.
All right, let's leave it at that. Shelembe, you wanted to say something before we close?
No, Chair, it's fine. I can't say anything, but Chair, I'll appreciate that as agreed that on the 6th it will be published. But Chair, I think we need to agree what action will be taken if it is not published on the 6th, of this month, as being said. Thank you.
Okay. Colleagues, when do we meet again? And the agreement is that we must have another meeting when the minister is present. Do you have your concurrence that we must have another meeting?
Yes, we do, Chair.
I agree,
This is
Chair.
important.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is totally unacceptable.
Yeah, okay. And so, colleagues, we can't take this beyond this point. We'll at the moment we're simply requesting the presence of the minister because there are matters that this can't we can't reach its progress until we have received some clarification. And it means that we can't start paying until the minister has has clarified her instruction in relation to the admin fee. But the good thing is that the date, that there is no effective date, sorry, the retrospective date in the regulations will not stop GPAA from paying to the beneficiaries and from that month. Do you agree, GPAA?
Yes, Chair. We agree.
Yeah, you would only break date when it's clear when on what the retrospective date is going to be, and then go back to that date. But for now, you pay on the date as is in the regulations as it stands. All right, so we'll leave it at that for now, colleagues. And in the meantime, please read the regulations. And they would expect the department to present the regulations when we meet again. Please prepare the slides to take us through the regulations. And the date might sometime before the end of this week or early next week, depending on the minister's availability. The reason why I asked us to check whether the minister was at cabinet is because we normally get a formal apology from the minister. But this time around, we did not get it. All right, with that, we thank you, DM. We thank you, colleagues, especially the colleagues from GPAA. We apologize that we are still where we were the last time we met. And we hope to meet again very soon. The meeting stands adjourned. Thanks.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair.
Don't leave the chair.